Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you're doing good, guys. I hope you're doing fine. Thank you, guys, for joining me today, guys. I really appreciate it. Of course, guys, before I start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash a like on the video, put your notifications on, all that sweet stuff, all that good stuff, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. Of course, guys, you absolute diamonds, you absolute legends, guys. Guys, let's get straight into it. Look, I still haven't recovered from the Liverpool game. I'll be honest with you guys. I still haven't recovered from the Liverpool game. I'm still excited, ecstatic, over the moon. Of course, we're going to be like that, of course, guys. But let me get into a bit of news, of course, about Manchester United. That is why we're here, of course, guys. Manchester United and some transfer news. Now, you may have heard a few weeks ago that I was speaking about a PSG player. One of the generational players over the last few years is a man named Warren Zaire-Emery, if I pronounce it right. Warren Zaire-Emery. Warren Zaire-Emery, of course, plays for PSG, and he is a central midfielder, defensive midfielder, right wing back. Now, I mentioned him, like, literally, it was over a year ago, which I mentioned this player, but rumors are circulating that Manchester United are heavily interested in this player. Now, what entices me about this player, Warren Zaire-Emery, is the fact that he is a versatile player that can play midfield, can play CDM, can play right back. Very versatile. And it would suit Ruben Amorim's system to a T. He's been around for quite a while, but he's still very young, only 19 years old, of course. He's valued at about 50 million euros. But of course, when you're looking at Man United purchasing a player such as Warren Zaire-Emery, it's going to cost a little bit more, isn't it? It's going to cost about 70 odd million if we're being honest with ourselves, guys, if we're being lucky, to be honest with you guys. And yeah, Warren Zaire-Emery, 50 million euros, guys. Absolutely. And you know what? I would say yes to this deal. I think, look, you know, when we're looking at contingency plans and a backup option for the likes of Adam Wharton, for the likes of Carlos Baleba, we need to have options out there of quality. Now, I'm not turning around and being snobby here. I'm not snobby, guys. I'm not. What I would say is that this type of player would be perfect for Man United, right? It would be perfect. I know that Man United have to qualify for the Champions League. I know Man United have to get into certain competitions to entice, to attract players such as Warren Zaire-Emery. But you never know. You never know. Manchester United are huge admirers of Warren Zaire-Emery, and I have been mentioning him for quite a while now, guys, ever since he was in the youth team of PSG, of course, guys. But yeah, very, very good and positive rumors circulating about this player, of course, guys. Absolutely. Very, very good rumors about this player. I think it's very important that Man United explore the market. I think it's very important that Man United look at contingency plans, look at the wider scope of players, guys, who are available. You know, I would say that. And to be honest with you, he would mark a fantastic signing. He would be a brilliant signing for Manchester United. And you know, but we have to be realistic as well. You know, we have to qualify for the Champions League. We have to get into European competition because that's where you attract players. Because we have been a little bit handicapped over the last summer in regards to our European non-aspirations, of course, where we have no European football. Tottenham put pay to that, didn't they? I mean, what was the point? What was the point of Tottenham being in Europe? It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's just a waste of space. But we did it to ourselves, and you know, and I feel like this season there is an opportunity. There's an opportunity for Man United to get into that top five because it is about 5 teams now that will qualify for the Champions League. I think there is an opportunity here, guys, for Man United to do that. I don't think this league is far away. And what makes me laugh is the agenda about Man United. Now, if Manchester United had, 3 more points, right? Okay, nothing is guaranteed. That's football. But what I would say is that we should have at least got a point against Arsenal. It was a foul. Bruno should have scored his penalty against Fulham. Right there, we beat Fulham. We draw against Arsenal. At least, that's 3 points, at least, isn't it? So we have 3 points right now. Manchester United are second, third place. And there's a crisis. And there's a crisis. Can you believe it? There's a crisis. This is the sensationalism, the upright bias, the dividing that the media want to do to Manchester United. The league is not over. It's very early. 40% of our opening 10 games have been from the teams in the top four. Teams in the top four, 40% of our opening start to the season, guys. You know, we have to look at that. Do you know what I mean? And we won 50% of those 4 games. I mean, the top 4 sides. We've won 50%. Not at all bad, is it? You know, and this doom and gloom, this crisis that Man United in, you know what? It's exaggerated. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. Now, look, I hope, guys, I really do hope that I am proven right on this one. Okay? I'm proven right on this one because I don't want us to go to Brighton and do what we usually do, which is basically flatter to deceive and let us all down because we had such high hopes for that great result against Liverpool. You know, and I don't want us to go into our shell again. We literally have to treat the Brighton game like Arsenal, like Liverpool, like Chelsea, like City. That's what we have to do because the mentality, right? These players will down tool sometimes. And they've given us reason to at the end of the day. Now, I hope that we turn the corner. I'm looking at the celebrations, and I know guys that will say, oh, it's only celebrations, you know what, winning team of the day, blah, blah, blah. Look, guys, I looked at those celebrations after the full-time whistle against Liverpool. And I'll be honest with you guys, I felt good. I like the vibes. I saw Xerxes, who hasn't played football, celebrating with Bruno. I saw Bruno celebrating Maguire. Banter, laughs. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see at this football team. It's not about training videos or training photos, winning team. Way. It's about beating Liverpool at Anfield and then celebrating. That's what it's all about. But there's no point doing that if we don't go into that game against Brighton and we win that game, guys, because that's just 3 points, just like the Liverpool game is. Absolutely, guys. I would say that wholeheartedly, of course. But Manchester United, in regards to transfer news, are interested in Emery. Guys, I'll call him Emery, but his name is Warren Zaire-Emery, guys. And he is a CDM, right wing back, right back, and a central midfielder who currently plays for PSG, who will set Man United back about 60, 70 million euros, guys. So there is a contingency plan in there, which is good news for Manchester United, of course, because we do need contingency plans at the end of the day, guys. Now, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're all doing well. Let me just get into the community, of course, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're all doing well, y'all. I hope you're all doing well. Let me welcome the members first, of course. Let me say hello to Tybog. What's going on, brother? Tottenham in Europe makes as much sense as watching a U-boat race on TV. Tybog, you always cheer me up. Big up, Tybog. Absolutely. It's true. It's true who. So much is true who what Tybog said there. Absolutely. Like, it's just a pointless exercise. Do you know what I mean? It's a pointless exercise, you know. It's like cooking ice, you know, ice balls in hell, whatever you want to say. Do you know what I mean? And look, you know, we did it to ourselves, to be honest. We have to look at ourselves and say, well, we did it to ourselves. We did it to ourselves. We did. Yeah, absolutely did. Big up, Daryl. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Bruno wasn't that good, but was involved in both goals. This is the thing, isn't it, Daryl? I don't mind Bruno going missing in games. I really don't. I don't think he's a midfielder. I will stick by that. I don't agree with the lineup. I will stick by that. The reason I don't agree with the lineup is because I don't think there's any future in the lineup. And I think as Manchester United, we need to be looking forward, right? We won the game, great, but we won those games in the past, as I clarified today. What I would say is that Bruno had a terrible game. But I don't mind Bruno having a terrible game if he assists, if he does something magic. Because he weren't playing well in that midfield position. And we have to be honest with ourselves, guys. We have to be honest that he weren't great. It wasn't fantastic. It wasn't vintage. I love Bruno in at number 10. I would love Bruno in the number 10, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think that Ruben Amorim is going to budge from his philosophy. I really don't think that. And that's a shame. But look, as long as we're winning games, and we've shown that we can win games against the best teams, guys. We've just gone to the hardest place in Europe and won. So I don't want to see any excuses against Brighton. They've made our high expectations high up there. They've given us, you know, a bit of belief now. They've given us a bit of belief, you know what I mean? And look, let's wait and see what happens. The next game, of course, guys, we'll have to wait and see, of course, absolutely. Let me say, big up, Ephraim. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good morning, Sal. Hope we sign a midfielder January. Big up, Ephraim. Saviour, good morning, Sal. Sir, if we can sign a midfielder and a right wing back in January, that would be. We're not going to sign both. Let me just say that, guys. It's not going to happen. I don't think Man United, unless Man United get rid of some players. Man United have to sell to buy, especially this year, because it is still the same fiscal year as the summer. If Man United do get rid of Mainu, if they do get rid of Xerxes, for example, on loan or something like that, these players have to be replaced, and only then we can bring in players. And I hope we do. I really do. I hope we get a right wing back. I hope we get a midfielder. I hope we get a left wing back. I hope we get, some squad players. I really do hope so. And I think that, it's imperative that Man United do that. It really is. Good morning, Tybo, by the way. Big up. Xavier Cunha is fighting to score his first goal and haven't seen him scoring against Brighton. Let him continue with the same spirit. I'm not interested, to be honest, about goals and assists and stat padding. He was my man of the match against Liverpool. Absolutely phenomenal. Work ethic, attitude, belief, turning on a sixpence, taking the team out of pressure at vital moments. And there was one interview after the game with Bruno Fernandes, and they was talking about the performance against Liverpool. And the good thing I liked about what Bruno Fernandes said, it was that he said that, the whole team did well. But he pointed out Cunha. And Cunha's work ethic, his spirit, his mentality, his attitude was spot on against Liverpool. And as long as he works like that and he works hard for the team, we can't. Man United fans will not criticize you about not scoring goals, right? They won't criticize you. You were the man of the match against Liverpool and you didn't score. You didn't assist, but you changed the game. And this is exactly what I've been talking about over the last many, many years now about stat padders, right? Eric Cantona, for example, didn't have the best stats in world football. He didn't have the best stats in world football. And but Eric Cantona changed games. Eric Cantona changed momentum. Eric Cantona changed the dynamic of Manchester United. Eric Cantona got us over the line. When we were nearly team, we lost the league to Leeds United the year before. We signed Cantona and we moved forward. Their stats weren't the best, but their overall impact was incredible. You know what I mean? And I would say that Eric Cantona, just like Cunha, right? He can make a huge difference in this football team. He can make a huge difference just by implementing himself well, playing for the badge, and that is what I see in Cunha, absolutely. Good morning to those. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Watching from Lagos, Nigeria. Big up Lagos, Nigeria, and big up my Nigerian family. Hope you're all doing well over there, my friends. Good to see the community all around the world. Good to see you all, of course, guys. Absolutely. Morning, Daryl. What's going on, Sal? Emery is a good player. I take him. Defo, bro. Big up, Emery. Big up, Daryl. Good to see you, mate. Absolutely. Good morning, Sanjay. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Getting ready to go to the UK. Good luck, my friend. It's my hometown, my home country. Enjoy it. I'm sure you will, of course, depending where you're going, of course. I think, is Adam Wharton, no Emery? I think it's Adam Wharton, no Emery. Big up, Chidoso. I mean, at the end of the day, what we want, it doesn't matter, Chidosi. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that Man United have a plan. Man United have a contingency plan if we don't get Adam Wharton. And let's not forget, Adam Wharton is also wanted by Real Madrid. I want Adam Wharton. I would love Adam Wharton at Man United. He's my favorite. But if Man United don't sign Adam Wharton, what are we going to do? Just sit down and say, oh, no, we can't. Oh, we have to have a contingency plan, isn't it? At the end of the day, we have to have players that, are going to come into this side, at sixpence. Like, we can't get Adam Wharton, so let's go and get that player now. We got Emery on the transfer wish list. We've got a lot of players in midfield that we hope we can, target in the summer. I don't think necessarily Man United are going to sign anyone in January in regards to the midfield. I would love that to happen. It would help Ruben Amorim tenfold. But Man United, obviously, the financial things of Ineos and things like that, as we know, is a problem. But in the summer, I said it already about Adam Wharton, right? Adam Wharton has given a gentleman's agreement to Crystal Palace. Adam Wharton, if he's going to leave Crystal Palace, will leave in the summer. Now, people forget this, right? This is very important, right? Most players are men of their word. They will be of their word. And Adam Wharton is one of those players who's a man of his word. And he said he's not going to leave in January. He's going to leave in the summer, right? And that deal could be approached in the summer. And let's wait and see, of course. Tyborg, yeah, big up, Tyborg. I've read that one's big up. Daryl, Bruno wasn't that good, but he was involved in both goals. Absolutely. John, what's going on? Anjay won a European trophy, but still got sacked twice before Amorim. John O'Connell, yeah, because, and I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why, right? You can tell if your ball knowledge is screwed on, right? Let me just say that, right? Not everyone's is, but if your ball knowledge is screwed on, right? Ange Postecoglou came into a football club at Tottenham that Tottenham had great players, better team than us, much better, right? They had a better team than us, right? Have done better than us over the last couple of years, right? We still have an element of we are trying to change a culture at a football club, right? When you're trying to change a culture at a football club to dominate, right? You're going to feel pain. You're going to lose some games, right? And that is what Ruben Amorim is doing. But what you can see with Ruben Amorim, you can see signs. Man United will go to the Emirates and beat Arsenal with 10 men. Man United will beat Chelsea. Man United will beat Liverpool. You know, at Anfield. Man United haven't lost in Anfield in 2 years, right? Tottenham want to do that. Tottenham want to do that, right? Tottenham want to go to Anfield, go to the Emirates, want to go to Man City. You know, and this is the thing with under Ange Postecoglou. This is the thing. Ange Postecoglou has one way, and it's his way or the highway, and he's failed, right? Ruben Amorim is a 40-year-old manager, right, who has won things, right, and dominated in the Champions League as well. Right, Ruben Amorim is a much better coach, tactician than Ange Postecoglou, right? And those who are ball knowledge and ball savvy can see the development in a team and the way we're playing football. You know, Benjamin Sesko. So I would start him, Chidosi. I would start him. I think that we should start our striker in the home games. 100%. I think that Benjamin Sesko just should start in the home games. I absolutely agree with that. Absolutely. Let me just write this tweet. Okay, so yeah, I think he's just starting the home games. Absolutely. Big up Santos. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. We need a left winger from PSG, maybe Barcola or Dogu. We need quite a few. We need right and left. Absolutely, we need right and left. We need an attacking wing backs, don't we? So that, I mean, once we get our attacking wing backs sorted out, we'll be all right. We'll be good. I still don't believe that Ahmad. I know he played well at the weekend. I still don't believe he is a winger. But we need backup anyway. Regardless of what we think, we need backup wingers anyway, guys. We do, and a specialist in those positions. And look, we have to be careful in regards to PSG. They are playing in France. It's an easier league and stuff. Guys, absolutely. Good morning. What's going on, my friend Tim? Long time no see. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Good morning. Sorry for the absence. Go Man United. Big up, Tim. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you're feeling fine, my friend. Woke up this morning feeling fine because we have this week. I said after the Liverpool game, we're going to have vibes. We're going to have vibes. Of course we are. And not least today. And we're gonna be in these type of good vibes all week, guys. And you know what? I'm gonna, because you know what? These kind of moments when you beat Liverpool at Anfield, these are the kind of moments that you need, isn't it, guys? Absolutely. Now, guys, in regards to another bit of transfer news, you may remember his name, Mikel Urigaza. Or Urigather. Mikel Urigather is an Athletic Bilbao central midfielder, defensive midfielder, 8 caps for the Spanish under-21s. He is a 21-year-old who has been linked with Man United over the last few weeks, indeed, last couple of months. A player that I mentioned a long time ago, valued at around 30 million euros, guys. And this is a player that I admire. I think he's very good. Another one of the conveyor belt of young Athletic Bilbao players, of course. And with the way Bilbao do their bit, they do their thing, is very impressive. As you know, you only can be Basque if you play for Bilbao. Only Basque players can play for Bilbao. So if you're born in Basque or you're related to a Basque mother, father, you can play for Bilbao. If you're not, you got no affiliation with Bilbao or Basque country, you will not play for Bilbao. So it's even more equally impressive that Bilbao still to maintain an element of success. Because they're handicapped in regards to some of the players they want to buy. For example, they can't just go out there and buy a player from France or buy a player from Italy. They can't do that. They have to buy Basque players. And Mikel Urigaza, and of course, we have a good history with Bilbao, obviously, and Herrera, of course, guys. Very good. One of the most underrated players. And also probably one of our best midfielders we signed definitely our best midfielder, I should say, we signed in the last 10 years. And look, Mikel Urigiza, guys, is a central midfielder, 21-year-old, 30 million euros. Probably can get him for about 50. Good news, another contingency plan. But you know what? One thing is for certain, you will be hearing a lot more noises about these players and guys like Mikel Urigiza, etc. Man United are in the market for a midfielder. And you know what? What we're going to do, what's going to be pretty evident, what Man United are going to do during this next windows, is that they're not going to be held to ransom. I know we've heard that quote quite a lot, haven't we? But we won't be chasing like we have done with Mbeumo and that. But as we see, Mbeumo was worth it. And Mbeumo was, look at Mbeumo against Liverpool. I mean, I told you about Mbeumo. Mbeumo's just brilliant. But Man United won't be spending months on transfers now. And so they've got a list of players. All right, we want Adam Wharton. Oh, but they're holding us to ransom. They're not going to sell Adam Wharton. Okay, who's next? Baleba. Oh, they're not going to sell Baleba. What are we going to do? We go Urigiza. Oh, they're not going to sell him. We go Zaire Emery and things like that. Do you know what I mean? And this is what Man United should be doing anyway. Should be prepared for the window. Should be prepared for the transfer window, of course. Absolutely. But there you go. Mikel Urigiza, guys, 30 million euros, guys, and a 21-year-old midfielder from Basque Country, of course, guys. Absolutely something to keep an eye on, of course, guys. Absolutely. So, yeah, it's good that, as I said, it's good that we're being linked to various players around. I like this about Man United. I like the fact that we're looking around and we're looking for a midfielder. When we're being honest with ourselves, the performance against Liverpool was not vintage. It was not, oh my goodness me, we were absolutely incredible. What a performance. What an amazing game, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't like that. It was more like a tactical rear guard action performance that Man United played, and I felt they did very well. And above all, they worked hard. They had commitment, they had attitude, they had mentality, and that is what you need. Sometimes it's not about playing the tiki-taka football. Sometimes it's about getting the result, and that is about it. And what impressed me a lot about the Liverpool game, as you guys know, I was really impressed with the way we came back after conceding a goal. We didn't just sit back and wait for Liverpool to score a second. We actually went back on the rear guard and actually, tried to score a second goal and tried to win the game, in which we did, of course. Now, many performances in the team need to improve. I know that Diego Dalot was not good at all, and he was awful, especially in the first half. He was terrible. And I think Man United need to be careful about certain players in that team and not be deceived by results. Results are great, but we have got a lot of work to do. We have to be honest with you guys, and we have to be honest, and we have to try and look at things subjectively, don't we, guys? We really do. Absolutely. We have to look at things subjectively. Chidozie, do you think that Rashford is still welcome in the squad? No, I don't want nothing to do with Rashford. Rashford represents everything that's wrong with Man United. Rashford could blame the environment. He can blame inconsistencies. He can blame all he wants to blame. In fact, he can blame whatever. He can blame the manager. I don't care. Nothing stops him from running on the football pitch. Nothing stops him from challenging for headers, despite the tactics, despite inconsistencies. You know what's a universal tactic? Hard work, effort, implementation, attitude. That is what is a universal tactic. And that universal tactic, Rashford didn't implement many, many times at Manchester United. He could play all he wants at Barcelona and made to look like a great player in front of Lamine Yamal, in Pedri, in Rafinha, in Lewandowski. He can be made to look like this great player, and he can be self-righteous and this and that. And it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault. But when he looks at himself in the mirror and he's honest with himself, he was walking on the pitch. He was not challenging for headers. He would down tool when it came to the opportunity to down tool. He would go to America when we needed to bed into the new manager and the system. You know, this is the guy. He would go on interviews and talk about the manager whilst he's still at the football club. Not interested, mate. Not interested. He represents everything that has been wrong with Manchester United. Urigiza, that's his name. Yeah, Urigiza. Urigiza. J-U-A-R-E-G-I-Z-E-R. Mikel Urigiza. I think it's Urigiza. I think that's the one. I think that's how you say it if I'm not wrong. I think that's how you say it. I think that's how you pronounce it if I'm not entirely wrong, guys. But sorry about that. But I'm going to call him Urigiza. That's it. Absolutely. He will definitely be our geezer if he comes to Manchester United. Absolutely. Guys, absolutely. Yeah, but you know what? I'm impressed with some of the targets that Man United are after. I'm impressed with that, of course, and hopefully long may it continue, and hopefully it comes to fruition, guys. I really hope it comes to fruition. I really hope so. I really hope that we end up basically signing one or two of these players, of course, guys. Let's hope that we do, of course, absolutely, guys. But let me know what you think, guys. Man United in for these players. I'm happy with that. I'm glad. It's better than no news. No news is good news for Man United. We've had a good week so far, haven't we? Now, let's end the week well. Let's beat Brighton. Let's get into it, guys. Let's beat them. Now, one thing I want to bring up on the show, I don't usually like to mention things like this, but I want to talk about the celebration in regards to Man United, okay? Man United scored the winning goal against Liverpool with Harry Maguire. And basically, people were complaining that Gary Neville was unprofessional the way he screamed and shouted when we scored the goal. And I would say, guys, come on, man. We just scored a goal last minute against Liverpool. These people, these police, they want to police everything. Now, when Michael Carragher does something like that, when another player does something like that, they don't mention it. But when it's Man United, they always seem to mention it. Like Gary Neville screaming when Man United score, right? For example. Now, doesn't that show passion? Doesn't that show enthusiasm? Doesn't that keep you excited rather than just going, oh, what a goal that is from Harry Maguire? You know, I mean, this is not the 1950s. Do you know what I mean? This is passionate, must-win football. You know what I mean? And Gary Neville's a Man United fan. And if Liverpool scored in the last minute, I'm sure, and he has done it, Jamie Carragher, sorry. Michael Carragher is his brother, probably. Jamie Carragher would do the same thing. This is exactly what it is. But every time it's Manchester United, it seems like, oh, you know, you can't do that. That's unprofessional. You can't do that. You know what I mean? Hated, adored, never ignored, of course, guys, every single time. And every single time I'm here, I go on other channels and that, I got it in my head. Manchester United, hated, adored, never ignored. We challenged you. We took your dreams. And that is what it is at the end of the day. And you know what? They're getting a little bit of revenge, isn't it? That they can say that, oh, Gary Neville was screaming when Maguire scored. So bloody what? It's passion. It's a passionate game at the end of the day. You got to show a little bit, guys. Come on, it's got to be real, isn't it? You got to be real. You can't be a robot. They want to, I swear to you guys, they want to turn football into a robot sport. They really do. They want to turn it into a robot sport. I don't understand it, guys. I really don't. But it seems like that's what they want to do. I mean, I hope that this is not messaged to Gary Neville and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, I enjoy it. I love it. I love a little bit of action. Look, what makes me laugh? Do you remember when Chelsea scored against Barcelona in the Champions League a few years ago? It was a long time ago now. And Chelsea knocked out Barcelona basically in the last minute against Barcelona. And Gary Neville went, oh, like that. Do you remember? Nobody said anything like that. In fact, it was applauded. It was applauded. Nobody said anything about that. Nobody. Oh, it wasn't unprofessional then, wasn't it? It wasn't unprofessional then. Nobody said anything about it. But as soon as it's Man United, as soon as a little bit of passion is shown about Man United, there we go with the moaning, with the policing, with this and that. And that, of course, guys, absolutely. Of course, there's levels to this. Of course, you can't cross the line. I know that. But what's stopping someone celebrating? That's how you do it, guys. That's how you do it. That's how you get passion. And I don't think that should be stopped at Manchester United, of course. But, guys, I would say that there has been a lot of negativity around this last few months. Of course, there has been. And we haven't had the start to the season that we would have envisioned. However, I think it's very important that all of us look at things in context. As I've always said, it's not doom and gloom. This season is not over, guys. This season is not over. There's still an opportunity for Man United to move up that league, guys. Man United have a low percentage win record, and that will improve, right? We've had good records. We've had average records over various different managers. Now, sometimes in life, in general, you have to go back to go forward. You have to go back to go forward. You have to maybe get to the worst to get to the better. And I think Man United are getting over the worst. I think, and it's very important to remember this, right, guys? It's very important that sometimes you have to sacrifice to be the best. To be the best, sometimes you have to sacrifice. Sometimes you're going to have to lose a few. You're going to have to feel a bit of pain to be the best. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Big up Kenny. What's going on, my friend? Zaya Emery's a PSG player Man United linked with. Kenny. Mentioned him a few months ago, and he's the rumors are circulating again in regards to this player. Now, look, and I would say that Man United are over the worst, and I would like to think that Man United are over the worst at the moment. And once we're over the worst, I think that Man United can go on a run. I really do think that. And look, guys, if we beat Brentford, that's 3 in a row, right? I'm looking at the game against Tottenham away from home, Nottingham Forest. These 2 games, right, away from home, right? Well, last season we struggled in. We lost 4 times to Tottenham last season. An absolute disgrace. No Man United team should be losing 4 times to Tottenham. I don't care who you are. No Man United team should be losing 4 times to Tottenham. Absolutely not. So what I would say is that in regards to these 2 games, I'm looking at these 2 games. Brighton first, and we know that Brighton are tricky. We know guys, as Kenny said, Brighton, Munich, right? They pick up their game every time they play Man United, right? And it's about time we change that record and change that narrative. And if we beat Brighton, we go into Nottingham Forest, we go into Tottenham away. If we can win those games, guys, I'm going to start believing, guys. I'm going to start believing that, you know what? We might not be as far away, guys. Absolutely. Because by the end of the month, guys, let's say by my birthday on the 25th of November, by the way, put that in your diary. By the 25th of November, Man United will be in that top 3. This is what my prediction is, right? Man United will be in that top 3. And we'll be believing that we can do something big this season, right? The league is living. It's a marathon, not a sprint at the end of the day, and that's what we have to remember. I know that a lot of people gave up on the manager. Some content creators out there who are blaming Juju for their inept opinions. You know what I mean? Because they've been made to look like a prat. When they've been screaming, Ruben Amrabat, get him out. It's the tactics, the system, the tactics, the system, It was the tactics and the system against Liverpool, wasn't it, bruv? You know what I mean? It was the tactics and system that beat Liverpool, that beat Chelsea, wasn't it, bruv? You know what I mean? These people are just so arrogant and egotistical that they can't turn around and say, do you know what? I got it wrong. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Big up, Kenny. I'll get into that, my friend. I'm aiming high, Sal. Champions League spot. Yes, Chadosi. I believe you should aim high, Chadosi. I think you should aim high. And I think every single Man United fan should aim high. If Man United get in the top 5, that's Champions League football. That's where we come from. That's a good thing. But I honestly think, Chadosi, my friend, that we can even get higher. We can get higher. We just have to believe, and we have to believe in ourselves, of course, guys. Now, in regards to the UAE takeover, now I want people to understand this, right? I live in the UAE. I live in Abu Dhabi. I go to Dubai a lot. I've been here 3 years, okay? When the news comes out about Abu Dhabi, about UAE, about takeover processes, consortiums, etc., IHC, ICD, Legatum, all these consortiums that are out there, believe you not, I will hear about it. Now, there's a lot of people out there who just want to spread false information. They want to continue, rinse and repeat the information. Kenny, you go on some of his channels. Rich, he doesn't know anything. He quote tweets Indy Kayla and people like that. He doesn't know anything, and he's boring. And what I would say is that these people, you've got to be careful of the news that you hear, right? In regards to UAE takeover, right? They are interested in Man United, right? But the rumors circulating about Beckham, about Cantona, about that, these are hearsay at the moment. It would be great if we got Cantona. There is word in the UAE that Man United want to bring in a legend, i.e. such as Cantona, to the football club, right? Because they believe that Man United haven't had this kind of player, this kind of legend at the football club since we had Bobby Charlton, of course, and Dennis Law. I remember when Bobby Charlton were at the football club, they used to actually train with the first team, they used to train with the first team, So what I would say is this, right? The UAE consortium, whether it's the IHC or it's the ICD or the Legatum, are incredibly interested in Manchester United, but so are Qatar. Qatar are still interested in Manchester United. Now, this is good because it does give you an inkling. It does give you a feeling that the Glazers would be willing to sell. But I would take that with a pinch of salt. It's gone a little bit quiet at the moment. Of course, it's gone a little bit quiet. Talks could be ongoing or there could be nothing happening, right? But until something solid happens, I'm not going to give you false information because that's not what we do on Stretford Post. I don't tweet fakes like Indy Kayla. I don't do that. I don't do things like that, guys. What I do is that I go out there and I find out information, right? Okay, so I find that information. I was in the entertainment scene, just like music scene for a very long time. I know about Turkey Al Sheikh. I know about his entertainment and stuff like that. I spoke about day before yesterday about Turkey Al Sheikh wanting to buy a football club, in English football club, but no club was mentioned, right? But UAE, Dubai want to create a rivalry. Abu Dhabi and Dubai, they're like friendly rivalries, isn't it? It's Abu Dhabi and Dubai. You do this in Dubai, I do this in Abu Dhabi, right? Abu Dhabi is more traditional, Dubai is more commercial, right? And Dubai want to purchase a big football team, and one of those football teams is Manchester United, right? And let's hope it comes to fruition, of course. Absolutely. Jamie, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Jamie Albs, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're well. Glory, glory, Man United. Saw a panel of Prats on United View last night, most wearing sunglasses. Take that was a narrative. Most of them wanted Amram gone. Some wanted Sunderland to beat us to get them sacked. Jokers. I don't know how anyone can listen to that channel. They're worse. They're the worst channel in the content creation business, mate. They're the worst. They're the worst information in the content creation business. And I called them out a long time ago because they were passionately, whether it was on TalkSport, because Flex goes on TalkSport, whether it was United View, they were passionately saying, get him out of my football club. He's a fraud. Change his formation. This is what they were saying. This is what they were doing. Now they're backtracking, right? They're doing a little dance to the back, to the left, And I can't stand these people. Honest to God, they are the fakest of the fake. They are fake, right? And they could say whatever they want, right? And, wearing sunglasses, it's a gimmick for them. It's juju. I done reverse psychology. It's juju. Mate, we're not stupid here, mate. You've been screaming Ruben Amram out for months and months. You know what I mean? So I don't want to hear about that juju, mate. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the biggest juju is you being born. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, And to be honest with you, I don't have any time for them. I support football club. I support the Man United. I support the football club. I used to like some of these guys. I used to enjoy watching their content, but to be honest with you, they've become a feeder for the mainstream. And what the mainstream want is they want you to follow their narrative. They want you to be all for what they think. They don't want objective, intelligent opinions, right? They don't want that. They don't want someone coming on, for example, Sky or TalkSport and absolutely tearing them apart with knowledge, right? They don't want that. They want someone who's a bimbo, naturally, and comes on and starts talking about, get him out of my club. What about this tactics, the system? It's not good enough. He's got a 2%, he's got this percent, he's got that percent, he's not won 2 in a row, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And this is what happens, and this is the problem. These people give content creators a bad name. I come on this stream, right? And I've been doing music. I've been doing content creation for a very long time, before YouTube was around. Whether I used to sell my CDs in the street or whether I used to go to see Man United and I used to talk about Man United in the pub. At the end of the day, these people are using the platforms for the wrong reasons. And I'm not saying that Ruben Amram is invincible. I'm not saying that you can criticize him, right? But the criticism should come from a place of constructiveness, a constructive opinion that is based around Man United eventually becoming successful with this regime, with this manager. They don't have that within them. They think, because at the end of the day, they're saying Ruben Amram out without saying it, basically slandering everything he does. I would never go on a rival fan channel surrounded by Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham fans, right? I would not go on there and start slagging my own football team off. And you guys know that because I've been on other channels. I would big up Man United. Even though we're in the mud, I would still big up Man United. I will not throw people under the bus, And people think we're crazy. People think we're mad. People think I'm mad on supporting Ruben Amram, But I've been saying it for months. Super toxic channels out there, flip-floppers galore. Absolutely, they're there. You know what I would say, Jamie, my guy? Jamie, they're there for clicks and likes. They're there for clicks and likes. Half of them are not United fans, and I know that. And they can cry about it all they want, mate. They can cry about it. They're not. The KFC sauce. I mean, yeah, look, you know you're talking. Kenny, you shouldn't be going on there, mate. On that indicator, on anyone who quote tweets indicator, i.e. Rich and people like that. It's a reason I don't associate myself with these people because it's full of absolutely. He's a sellout. He never sold. He never had anything to sell. A bunch of flip-floppers. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Look, guys, I'm not saying that I'm not the police. I'm not the opinion police. But what I bring to the table is constructive opinion. I can say that I don't think that Bruno should play number 8, but I think Bruno is important in regards to scoring goals and assisting. Right, but I don't think he's good in the number 8. That is a constructive opinion, right? You can come out with constructive opinions. You could say, I don't like the way Ruben Amorim keeps playing Bruno in that midfield. I don't like the way Ruben Amorim plays Dalot as a left wing back. You could say those things. That is constructive. But the opinion is basically, he's a this, he's a fraud, basically. And this is what it's like. And this is what I don't like, of course. Them and that Alice are pathetic. These children have no idea about it. They have no idea, mate. I will get them all together in a little panel, right? A little panel, live, no hands, no AI, right? And I would say like this, guys, you know what? What was the score in that? Who won that? Who's that player? Who's that player? They wouldn't have a Scooby-Doo. They wouldn't have a clue, mate. That's why it's here. You keep it Stretford Post. Big up, Jamie. Dembo, morning, Sal. Hope you are well, my friend. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Looking forward to the Brighton game. Let's get another win on the ball. Come on, my guy. Come on. Absolutely. Come on. Look, I believe that, you know what, maybe, look, hopefully, guys, we've turned a corner. Hopefully, we are ready for the game. Hopefully, we're ready for the game. And I believe we will be. I believe we will be. And remember, guys, remember the rallying cry, guys. The rallying cry that I gave before the Liverpool game. I'm going to say it like this, guys. Keep the same energy for the Liverpool game, for the Brighton game, for the Tottenham game, for the Brentford game, for every game in the Premier League. We need to keep that same energy. We need to keep the vibes up. We need to think that next week we're going to be playing Liverpool. That's how we have to think like. Every game from now on is an FA Cup final. That's how we have to treat this, guys. Not just turn up because, you know what, the cameras and the lights are on us and we can make a big statement. The expectations is off us. You know, we need to beat teams. And listen, guys, I can't stand Brighton Hove Albion. I can't stand Brighton. I can't stand nothing to do with that city. Right? They are fakes, they're frauds. Right? Guys, they are fakes, they're frauds. I haven't met one person I like from Brighton. You know, at the end of the day, and yeah, look, let me tell you. And guys, they will be up for it that game. They will be up for it that game, right? And if anyone's from England, they know what I'm talking about, right? They'll be up for that game as they are every single time against Man United, because that is what Brighton Hove Albion do. They do it against Man United. They do it against Chelsea. They do it against Liverpool. They do it against those teams. But when it comes to Burnley and Everton and maybe Tottenham, they don't do it. You know what I mean? And that is the thing. Clout chaser with zero patience. Look, Jamie, you know one thing I would say, my friend? I would absolutely love Ruben Amorim to prove them all wrong, right? Because at the end of the day, when Erik ten Hag was in charge of Manchester United, I said it then. Changing the manager won't change anything because we don't have the patience for a new manager. We don't have the patience for change. We don't have the patience to evolve, you know? Ruben Amorim right now, and I hope that Ineos are giving him the patience. And I am happy. And listen, guys, I call things objectively. I call things from every angle. I'm not a fan of Ineos, but I want them to succeed. I want them to succeed. I want them to succeed at this football club. Because if they succeed, Man United succeed, I hope. You know? And when Jim Ratcliffe came out and he spoke about Ruben Amorim, that we're backing the manager, I thought that was a good thing. A lot of people were saying, oh, he's jumping the gun, you know? But I was thinking about it. And I was thinking, yeah, because that is giving a message. Look, maybe that's giving a message to those players that this manager is not going anywhere. So you better back the manager or else, or you're out of here. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it should be. Absolutely. Big up, Jamie. Good to see you, mate. I used to watch United View side and most of them, but then I see they are always managers out. I had enough. They are always flip-flop and they're better off watching the Honest Discussions channels. Thank you, ALs. Look, The thing is, the reason I like to read out everyone's comments, the reason I like to get your opinions and things like that, because I like to hear differences of opinion. I like to have a debate because I care about Man United and I care about the open Man United community and the fan base of the community of everything. Now, many of these people were given platforms. Let's not forget that. Mark Goldbridge is a friend of mine. He gave them the platform. That's why they got a platform. And I've always said that, and I will not sugarcoat that, and I'll not shy away from that. I will speak the truth and speak the gospel. It hurts them, but a lot of them have. If you look at all of them, even some of the ones I like, they all got connections to MG. All right. So what I would say is that there are a few of them are using Man United and their platforms for clicks and likes. Unfortunately, I'll tell you guys, for some of them, negativity gets their clicks and he gets their likes, and then they flip-flop. Now, guys, I don't believe anyone who has came on their channels, right, and screamed to their lungs, Ruben Amorim out, get him out of my club, or they hope Ruben loses so that he gets sacked. I don't think any of them have a right to wear sunglasses, to be talking about Man United, to be celebrating a Man United win, because at the end of the day, they are everything that is wrong with this football club, and I will say it over and over again. I'm not toxic positivity. I'm not nothing like that. But what I will do, I will call things as they are. And I think it's very important that we learn the truth here, because a lot of things are being sugarcoated. A lot of things are being sugarcoated in our community. And the reason Man United have not succeeded over the years is because I have spent half an hour trying to tell a Man United fan before the Liverpool game that we can win. There's a possibility we can win. I was called delusional. I was called unrealistic. I was called toxic. I was called all those names under the sun because I said I believed that Man United could win. Where's my apologies? Where's my apologies? I'm a clown, apparently. Where's my apologies? Come on, bring it in, because I haven't seen any, at the end of the day. But these people, give up too soon. They throw their neck out there and they say, get the Ruben Amorim out of my club, get him out of my club. He's a fraud, he's this and that. Whether it's jealousy, whether it's lack of ball knowledge, I don't know. But that's what they do, right? And they have big platforms. And I have nothing against people doing their thing. I have nothing against people earning their corn. But as long as they do it in an honest way, and not do it at the detriment of the football club. You go on a major channel with Arsenal, with Liverpool, with Tottenham fans, and you know what? You start slandering everything about Man United, and you call it reverse psychology. Mate, you're not that smart. All right? So stop doing that. Stop doing that, mate. You know what I mean? If you want to have a friendly debate, I'm open. No, mate, you don't do that, mate. You don't. Because at the end of the day, I back some of these guys. And I'll be honest with you, I back some of these guys. Because I believe in, in people succeeding, brothers succeeding, sisters succeeding, everything. Because it's not easy out there, But one thing you don't do things at the detriment of the football club. You don't do things to build your own platform and you bring down someone to put someone up. Crabs in a barrel syndrome. That's what I call it. Crabs in a barrel. Step on everyone else to get to the top. Right? And I'd never believed in that. I believe in opportunities. I believe in believing. I believe in being positive when it's time to be positive. I believe in having constructive criticism when it's time to have constructive criticism. I'm not saying Ruben Amorim in, Ruben Amorim out. I'm in the middle. I'm Man United in. That's what I am, right? And that's one thing I will clarify. It's a little bit difficult for the less savvy people to understand that because they feel that you have to have one cult in and out. Extremist cults like that. Guys, absolutely. Big up, Garrett. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see the legend in the house. Hope you're blessed. Big up, Sal. Keep on doing what you're doing, brother. Speak from the heart. Thank you so much, Garrett. Love you, brother. Thank you so much, mate. AL, my thoughts exactly. They are always out there. They're always out. But when they win, they celebrate like it's they supported the manager when they want him gone. That's ridiculous. No right to celebrate. It's lame. They have no right to celebrate when they've been screaming Ruben Amorim out because you know who won that game? AL, you know who won that game at the weekend? Ruben Amorim. He picked that team. Right, so listen, I got it wrong. I didn't like the lineup, but it won the game. I'm happy, and congratulations to Ruben Amorim. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that is how you do it, right? We're fans. We're going to have an opinion. We're going to criticize. But what we don't have is going to element of extremism in our opinions because going over the top. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like stealing a loaf of bread and getting the capital punishment for that loaf of bread, stealing. You know what I mean? Relax. Be patient. You know what I mean? Moses, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Morning, Sal. If United can keep this tempo for the next 4 games in a row, it will give us, the fans, more belief in the coach. Amram is tactically good with the right mentality and move forward. Love the comment, my friend Moses. Hope you're doing well, brother. Absolutely agree with that. Spot on. Guys, look, there's no reason why we can't be positive in regards. We just beaten Liverpool. We just beaten the best team. The hardest place to go in the world is Anfield for me. I've seen Man United at Bernabeu. I've seen Man United at the Nou Camp, the San Siro, the Parc de France, wherever it's been, right? I've seen Man United. Anfield is the toughest place to go. And for us not to lose there in 2 games, right? That shows you that there is something there. There's a substance there, right? This is not about one-off games in an FA Cup final, you know? Stephen Maguire, big up morning, United fam. I am happy the fact that Amram has adapted, and Amram hasn't adapted anything, Kenny. Amram's playing the same formation. It's the fact that the players are getting used to the formation. Amram hasn't adapted anything. He's not adapted anything. He's just being himself. It's just that the players are starting now. It's nothing to do with adaptation. The system is still the same. The formation is the same. It's nothing to do with adaptation. You know what I mean? United View, Side TV, it's an even local United show. United were spreading Amram out movement. But yeah, at the end, it's. Look, what I would say this, and I would say this, right, guys? I would say this, and I'm going to be totally honest with you guys, right? I don't hate anyone. I wish everyone the best of luck. But one thing I love is Manchester United, right? And when I feel like people are putting the club into disrepute, I challenge that. I fight that. Do you know what I mean? And I would say that a lot of people were Ruben Amram out, and they were so forcefully Ruben Amram out, right? And when you look at the result against Liverpool, if that doesn't give you a sign, if that patience is a virtue, I don't know what is. Because if we can go to Liverpool, right, and beat Liverpool, right, we could win against anyone. That clarifies to you, and it should light a spark in your head, that it's actually the players that are not implementing the system or not giving 100% every single game that they play. If that doesn't give you the spark in your head, I don't know what will. Do you know what I mean? So, guys, I'm talking on a level here. You know, I'm talking about, like, a lot of people talk about Man United but don't have football knowledge. Some of them big platforms, you know, and they don't have the knowledge. Do you know what I mean? Elks. Yes, I wanted Cesar to start as well, but when he didn't, I understand the manager, but must have the reasons, and so back the trust. You should be that should be that way. Else, you have every opinion. You have every right to say, "Oh, bloody hell, you know, Sesko's not playing. Why is Sesko not playing?" Blah blah blah. And look, guys, I'm guilty of it myself, right? And the thing is, we could do that before the game, but I guarantee you this, guys, I will have my little run for about a segment of 15 minutes. After that, I'm done with it. I'm supporting the football team. And that's what I'll be doing. And if we lose, I'm not going to say, get Ruben Amram at my club, blah, blah, blah. He got this wrong, he got that wrong, he got this wrong. And if we win, I'm not going to come at it and say, oh, look, we're cooking, but we're going to win the title, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? It's mad. Big up, Sal. United won more games at Anfield than Liverpool in the Premier League. Man United, Ruben Amram is the first, has won at Etihad and he has won at Anfield before Arteta. Before Arteta. Hold that. Hold that. Hold that. Ruben Amram, this poor manager that we're talking about, has won at the Etihad and has won at Anfield before Arteta. Make it that what you will. Big up Lee, big up Darren, big up my friend though. Sal, don't forget Sir Bobby Charlton, absolutely never. Guys, another thing I want to mention, Benny, thanks for reminding me, mate. But another thing I want to mention about other channels, none of them mention Sir Bobby Charlton. None of them mention Dennis Law. None of them mention. Every single opportunity that I get, I'm Duncan Edwards, I'm George Best. You know, I'm Sir Bobby Charlton, I'm Dennis Law. Every opportunity I get to mention them, I mention them with glee, with happiness. Because they are what epitomize Manchester United. And I love to bring in our past. I love to bring in these players because these players are the reason that some of these players at Manchester United have a platform, have these shoulders to stand on, you know? But they're never mentioned by some people. And that is very telling. That right there is the line there that you can get the clue, guys. Good job, Sal. You are a true United fan, and I respect your opinions. I big up you, Sam, as well. Big up, Sam. Hope you're doing well, brother. I hope you're well. Thank you so much. Big up, Mars. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, Mars. Hope you're blessed. Of course, I'm very well. Thank you. Hope you're well too, mate. Hope everything is blessed. Now, guys, look. You know what? I don't deal with absolutes in football. There's a lot of people, Liverpool fans, who are getting the archaeologists to try and to explain why they lost the game against Man United. You lost the game against Man United, Liverpool fans, because Man United were better than you on the day, right? And that is why you lost the game to Man United. And that's what I would say about that. Stop giving analogies. Stop giving hypothetical scenarios, because it doesn't matter. You lost. Right? I can think of another number of games of Man United should have won. Right? I brought some into season in this show about Arsenal, how we should have had a free kick against Arsenal. It shouldn't have been a goal. Man United should have at least got a draw. We should have scored a penalty against Fulham. It should have, would have, could have. Just the way life is, isn't it? You know, at the end of the day. Ajax, and like it or not, Ten Hag is his second most successful manager after Jose. He at least bought 2 trophies for us. Unfortunately, he lost his job, but I appreciate him for his trophies. Some people are obsessed with him on ALX, and you know what? I never once said get Eric Ten Hag out of the club. And the reason I didn't say that is because I knew the cultural problem at the football club. I knew there's far more pressing issues at Man United than the manager's being sacked. And I would like to hope now, right, that we have understood this and we've clocked onto this. It's taken us bloody over 10 years, but hopefully we've clocked onto the fact that the manager is not the problem, and we need to understand the culture at the football club and the implementation, the mentality and the effort, you know, because these players, you can't all of a sudden go to Anfield, right? Let me give you an example, right? I'll give you an example here. I have a youth football team in the UAE. I have a youth football team. Okay, if I took that youth football team and I played the youth football team of Liverpool, we get slapped up, right? We get slapped up because we're not good enough. Okay, so that basically means, right, that you can't switch it on and off like that, right? If you're not good enough, you're not good enough. Man United beat Liverpool for the second. Haven't lost to Liverpool at Anfield in 2 games, but Man United will go and lose to Bournemouth and Wolves. That's a player problem. That's a cultural problem. That's a mentality problem. And this is what I've been talking about. Throwing the manager under the bus is the easy thing to do because he's the front cover of the book, isn't he? He's the front cover. He's the PR guy. He's the guy in front of the media. That's why he gets targeted. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's the problem. And this is something. I'm not saying that he's not part of the problem. Some managers are. There is a little bit about me that I didn't like what Ten Hag did here. I didn't like what Ten Hag, but you're absolutely right. He brought 2 trophies, beat Man City in the final. But what the way that what that tells me right there, that should clarify to everyone. When Ten Hag was in charge, he won the FA Cup, he won the League Cup, because those players turned up, because they decided to turn up. Absolutely. Mars. Do you think we'll get purchased by the consortium? Mars, I would say eventually. I would like to think so. We will be. It's not going to be easy, though. It will take time. I would say that. It will take a while. It won't just be overnight. It won't be a couple of months. It will take a year, maybe years, you know. That's the one thing I would say. Man United was ahead by a goal, and I was so confident we weren't going to concede. Big up, Prince. Yeah, one thing about Man United, it's not only about that. It's like Man United, yeah, we were fairly comfortable. I know we conceded a couple of chances there, but you're always going to do that at Anfield. But Man United, in my opinion, were confident in the game, and I never had the threat that we're going to concede. But what impressed me the most about the game against Liverpool is the fact that we conceded a goal and we went up the other end and got another goal. That's what I liked, because in the past, we would have folded, collapsed. Right? If you watch the game last season, Man United against Liverpool, I think Man United went 1-0 up, if I'm not wrong. Or is it? Yeah, I think it was 1-0, 1-1. And then Liverpool, as soon as we conceded the equaliser, Liverpool scored again straight afterwards, and it was 2-1. Luckily enough, we scored a great goal, and Licha Martinez scored, and we drew the game. But what I would say is this, right? It seems like they've learned from that, right? And we conceded a goal and we didn't fold. We didn't panic. We went up the other end and we scored again, you know? Plus, sacking the managers is we lose money, and we also have a backlog of players that are from the previous manager, and it unstabilizes things, and it adds power to the players. And I don't believe it should always happen. Absolutely. We all wanted Cesc to start, but when I saw the lineup, I understand Amram wanted to win the midfield battle and the same time drive the team forward with more. Guys, Moses, everyone's going to get the opportunity at Man United. That's one thing. And I don't care as long as Man United are winning the game. However, I would say that the long-term vision needs to change. These players are not going to win us a title. I'm being honest with you guys. The Brunos, the Maguires, the Shaws, the Dallows, they're not going to all of a sudden become world-class players, Moses. So I think we have to take this with a pinch of salt. We can't rely on these players every single game. They have let us down in the past. It's up to them to prove us wrong, but they have. Evidence is there for years, right? So one thing I would say, the reason that a lot of us are criticizing is not because, oh, you know what, don't like the lineup, blah, blah, blah. It's because of the long-term vision. We have to think about a long-term vision. We have to think about what Man United are planning for the future, not just what we're planning for this game. We have to plan about what's for the future. I firmly believe if we had Aiden Heaven, if we had Sesko, if we had what's his name? Lenny Yoro, I firmly believe we still would have won. I thought from the beginning, guys, from last week, people know me. I knew we were going to win this game, no matter what. It was 9 years ago, but we drawn a few as well, Maz. Let's not forget that. We drew 0-0. We drew 2-2 as well. Did you hear about, big up Mars, did you hear about the bollocks that Sesko was the worst signing in the summer? Yeah, mate, look, hated or never ignored Mars, you know? How on earth they can say that when there's Florian Wirtz there? Does Florian Wirtz not exist? Does Isaac not exist? Does Gyökeres not exist? Does Xavi Simons not exist? It's just anti-Man United thing, isn't it? It's just all anti-Man United, of course. Absolutely. Did you hear that they're trying to bring back Beckham into the picture? They are trying. Man United have been trying that for years. Beckham would be great at Man United. They are, of course. He would be great at Man United. APN, I only want Glazers out, but Ineos plans are not bad for the future, in my opinion. I don't know about that, APN. No, I would rather Saudi Arabia, UAE take hold of the full football club. Ineos haven't been successful at a football club yet, and there's no evidence to say that. Do you think we should bring JJ Gabriel up? Maybe in a few months, yes. We have to be careful about JJ Gabriel, of course, not to bring him in too soon. But what I would say is that he's an absolute generational player, and I hope that he gets in the team soon, because there are other teams lurking around JJ Gabriel. Real Madrid are one of them guys, so we got to be very careful that we don't lose him. So we got to. I mean, obviously, there was that promise that in the new stadium, he's going to get a box and things like that and stuff like that. But we have to make sure that we make a clear path for JJ Gabriel, because we're going to end up losing him. And for me, he's the new Lamine Yamal. He's the new kid on the block. He's a new generational player. I think he would be an absolute baller at Man United. I hate using that word, but yeah, I think he'll be an absolute great player at Man United. And I think that, yeah, JJ Gabriel will be absolutely brilliant in my opinion, guys. Yeah. Guys, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. I really want to say thank you to all the community. As usual, I always do. I'm always grateful for every one of you. And I want to say, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Smash a like. We need 50 likes per show, guys, especially Breaking Dawn. 50 likes, guys. I do Chatterbox in the evening as well, in the afternoon, should I say, guys. And guys, Sal, we will lose Barada and Wilcox if you're not necessarily, Darren. Not necessarily, no. Depends on UAE, because let's remember that Wilcox, Barada, and Vivel are employed by Manchester United, not Ineos, right? Ineos employees may leave, but not Manchester United employees. A lot of them won't. And I'm hearing that UAE will keep a lot of the backroom staff there, just to keep things consistent and calm, you know, without tearing everything apart, of course, guys, absolutely. But guys, Joe Carers, no Carers, or Joe Carers, absolutely. Big up, Darren, by the way. Big up, Mars. Big up, everyone. Big up, my friends in the chat, guys. Don't forget to smash a like, guys. Don't forget to smash a like, please. You absolute legends. Guys, thank you so much. I'm Sal Warner. This is indeed Stretford Post and Breaking Dawn. I always do that, don't I? Breaking Dawn. Guys, I will be back later for Chatterbox. Please don't forget to put your notifications on as well. Smash a like, guys. Very important on the stream, guys. Take it easy. Have a great day. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn, and I shall see you later on, guys. Take it easy. Peace.